Meanwhile, the Nigerian government has issued a flood alert following the release of water from Cameroon's Lagdo Dam. Director General of the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Umar Mohammed, announced that the release will be gradual, with no major flooding expected. However, states including Adamawa, Taraba, Kogi, and Benue are advised to prepare for potential impacts. In 2022, water releases from the Lagdo Dam caused devastating floods in Nigeria, leading to 603 deaths and the displacement of 1.4 million people. Mohammed explained that the current water flow, starting at 100 cubic meters per second, could increase over the next 7 days. The releases will be carefully managed to prevent overwhelming the Benue River system. Let's get some perspective on this. We're joined now by Climate Expert Abiola Oshunniyi. Abiola, thank you for giving us your time. The agency is assuring us that there is no cause for alarm as the major flooding is not expected, but they are urging government at all levels to step up vigilance, and adequate preparedness of possible flood impacts that may occur. Considering what happened in 2022, what's your assessment of our preparedness for the unexpected?
The short answer is that Nigeria is not prepared again for the aftermath of the release of the dam's water from Lagdo. So let me just take you a little bit, back on historical lane. So we had flooding generally around that axis, 2012, 2018, and 2022 was something significant that a significant number of states had that flooding come in from the dam, and like you rightly highlighted, about 33 states had the flooding killing significant amounts of persons across the country and affecting over 1.4 million people. But one aspect of it that we often quickly do not recall is that this dam was, the Lagdo Dam was constructed and completed in 1982, right? So we had, over 30 years to have prepared for this kind of incidents as a country to manage the aftermath of this. So in short, we're not actually prepared for whatever is supposed to happen. The bilateral agreement says that Nigeria should have built our own version of the dam that is supposed to contain the water that is supposed to be in Adamawa, the Dancing Hausa Dam. Until date, there's not been anything significant that should have been like, the containing dam for this. And that's on one side. On the other side of it is, just like in Maiduguri, whenever there is the release of water from dams, you need significant, storm drainages and significant aspects of the ecosystem already prepared to be able to manage this flooding. So essentially, what we're already expecting is, a significantly higher impact from what we've seen in Maiduguri and from what we've seen in previous years. So while from the early warning alert, it is a great idea, but the intentionality as a nation from 2022 till now, for us to have been able to prepare, even if we've not built the dam, but at least in terms of creating the channels, the pathways that would have been able to help us manage this overflow that would definitely come, because it is something that is already becoming an annual phenomenon. Then it means, we should have a prepared plan of action already on the table to be able to manage this. But apparently we do not have anything, even in practice, for us as a country to manage this. Okay.
Quite unfortunate, really, that, we seem not to learn lessons. There's another aspect to this, though. A particular interest for me is that the release of the water commenced the same day that the statement from the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency was published, September 17. Considering previous arguments about communications and the need for preparedness, is it safe to assume Perhaps this information got to relevant states before now. If not, why, and what is the implication?
So the agreement between Cameroon and Nigeria states that, of course, every time the Cameroonians are going to release water from the dam, expectedly the rainy season has started. Just using meteorological data without even gainsaying whether we're alerted as a country, we already know that they're going to be water level rises, and definitely, about this time, the dams will get full, and we already had that significant effect from, for instance, Maiduguri. So with this was something that was something you could almost say it's calendarized. It would happen. It's about when would it happen fundamentally. So from the sides of the agency telling us about it happening, I think that was more of an official statement being made. And so it will be as part of their mandate. So they fulfill their mandate of alerting us. But beyond alerting us, what exactly do we have in place to be able to manage, the potential disaster effect of this? I think the fact that we're already reliant on the relief aspect of it, where if such a disaster happens, there's some sort of relief that comes to it. I think it's almost not getting us thinking correctly. That's one problem. If the states were actually alerted earlier, the question is, and I would use a typical example, if I was a governor of one of the states close by there, one of the things normally you would do is get a sense of, the epidemics, pandemics, that your area is prone to. And this is something, if it has not been brought up to them, historically, they already know that would already happen because they are Nigerians, they've lived in Nigeria.
All right,
they function in
I think
Nigeria.
you're basically saying it goes back to preparedness. Getting the information is one thing, and then preparing is another. But talking of solutions, the Senate had in October 2023 called on the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to revisit the proposed construction of Dasin Hausa Dam and any other dam to take in the flood waters from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. Is there any update on that to your knowledge? In 30 seconds, if you can, please.
There's absolutely no update to it. If we were channeling our energy into developing it, we wouldn't be paying lip service to bringing up policies. It's about, as of now, for instance, beyond just the dam, we need a proper flood management strategy. A full roadmap. That allows us, because this is something that happens year in, year out. It's yearly already. So how do we then create a plan of action beyond just the dam? Because if we're going to build the Dasin Dam, it will take about 4 to 6 years. So if we were going to do that, it would take some time. But we need something as a stopgap right now to address some of these critical challenges around these aspects of it. And to note, the dams we're even talking about that we need to build is supposed to create some economic value for us as well. So it's a mismatch if we already know that we're supposed to be able to, use the dam that we're building to boost economy for ourselves, and we're not actually paying attention to that as well. So those are two. It's sort of mismatch that it's difficult for you to grapple your head around it. That if the leadership is not really paying significant attention to wanting to get the dam or other strategies for flood management actually in place beyond the regular approach of the normal channels, because these dams and the volume of water is significant, and we already know. For instance, over 100 hectares was flooded in 2022. We're going to be having at least something similar, at least if we were going to be mild around it, because we've already seen the impacts of what the Maiduguri floods have done, and you already have 11 states already on alert. So it tells you significantly what that means in terms of loss of crops, loss of infrastructure, loss of livelihood, and of course health epidemics that we may have already conquered.
All right, Abiola, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you so much.